name is Tania Simmons, and I am from Thomasville City Schools in Thomasville, North Carolina, and I am a curriculum facilitator for our 4th and 5th grade elementary school, Liberty Drive Elementary. So this has been our 2nd year, so we are in year 2 with ArtCore. Well, our first year, we were a little nervous with school pace and we didn't use it the way we should have used it. I think our teachers were just trying to get through the core. They were trying to learn all the components of ARC. This year, however, school pace really helps us analyze and interpret our data. We have weekly PLC meetings on Mondays. So we pull our data and we look at reading practice, we look at our conference rate, we look at time on power goal. We also look at our overall school level. So where are our kids with emergency, where are they at risk, where are they with proficiency, and we're seeing how those numbers move. Reading interventionists are a part of that conversation, so they know what power goals, what things they also can do to help support the classroom teacher with core. When they're conferencing and doing small groups, most of our teachers have their laptop right there with them to put everything in, and so our ARC coach has been very instrumental every time she comes to visit to show us other things that we can put into school pace, but also the other tools, other resources. There are so many lesson ideas, there are so many small group planning ideas, the way you can look at it to organize your groups. It's such a, school pace is just like a hub of data for us. And so what we're doing this year is really taking out parts and pieces to watch our data and to analyze and to track students. Student engagement has definitely increased. What we really see is the reading culture as far as the reading stamina. So in year 1, we built, we kind of organized our classrooms so that students knew about independent reading and knew about steps and knew as far as tracking their steps and how many steps can I get in a day and how many I got at home. So that has carried over to this year, and I can definitely speak with our 5th graders. It's like day 1, they picked up, they knew exactly what to do with reading practice. When you walk in the classroom now, it's pin drop reading. We don't have to go back over rules and procedures and expectations. They got it. They are so ready to log in. They're ready to talk about their book. They're ready to discuss it. They're ready to move forward. We also had another piece where they have a accountability question that they have to either answer or reflect on with a partner after reading, so it keeps the accountability going, because we know students will sit down and sometimes they look like they're reading and they're really not. So we've added that piece in just as another layer, and it also helps because they're test style questions, so it kind of helps build that capacity as well. And teachers have really just made competitions with. Our teachers are very competitive, and also this year we have partnered with a baseball team. So the baseball team came in and they did something called read around the bases. Their steps equaled a certain base, so by the time they made a home run, they got a ticket. So what happened is they were able to get like up to 4 and 5 tickets, and their whole family went to a baseball game for free. We talked about, hey, we're doing reading practice, and they were like, hey, let's put this together, and we joined forces. So that's been wonderful. First of all, we meet as curriculum facilitators, and every school has one, which we call instructional coaches. We meet once a month, so we're looking at school pace data, and we mostly are looking at conferencing rate and looking at reading practice and our emergency readers, proficient and at risk, because those are the big components that we wanted to focus on this year, but more of the conferencing. So from those conversations, we have offered PD for small group conferencing so that our teachers will know what it looks like and what the end result should look like as well. And so from those meetings, we also have meetings with the principals. So you have principals and CFs and any other building leaders together. And so we look at the data, looking at school pace just as a system-wide, but also just as a school-wide as well. So we start off system and kind of go, kind of break it down into the school. Everyone is immersed in the conversation. Everyone is a part of the conversation. Year 1, we really didn't have that coherence, but this year is much better. And so next year we're looking at how we're building now, moving our kids into proficient readers, because that is the end result. We want all of our kids to be proficient readers. So what are we doing for next year to meet that? toolkits have been phenomenal with reaching foundation skills. Not only do our core classroom teachers use it, but our interventionists use it. Our teachers who are specials teachers, like our music teacher, our art teacher, they are using toolkits, pushing in the classrooms with toolkits. It's very user friendly, and they are reaching the gaps of our kids who are 2+ years behind. Also, we can't forget our kids who are above grade level, because they need something too. So with the art core, it reaches them and extends their learning and engages them and encourages them to not only be better readers, but be able to apply their skills to lifelong reading. And then in turn, these students are now helping the other students in the classroom, like almost like peer tutors, kind of peer readers. When it comes to the end results, like the projects that they use or the books that they write, this is where they can really flourish and really use those skills that they already have, plus skills that they're also obtaining, and the products that they are creating are things that are beyond what we thought. So it reaches everyone. I think it's definitely equitable. It's definitely accessible for all students with all learning abilities. It doesn't matter if they come to your classroom or to your school being in poverty. It doesn't matter if they come from a broken home. It doesn't matter if they don't have access to rich education at their homes. We order the books for boys, and that has really turned the culture just for our boys to be able to read and get engaged in books. And now our girls are jealous, so now we have to order the books for girls. But they were like, why don't we have something? Because we needed to get our boys reading. So just for the fact that our boys are now having their own little book clubs in the room and comparing, the things that they're reading with their other peers in the classroom, that has helped. So it really has brought full circle with everyone. Everybody's a part of the reading culture in our school. So we haven't arrived, but we definitely have left.